All right, this video is meant to give you an explanation for what the expectation is for your research project about one synthetic material. Now, this week you'll have really the whole week to conduct this research project, and this is going to be your grade for the week. So this week there is no Schoology quiz at all. Instead, you are just doing this project, and your teacher is going to read all your answers to each of those questions in the assignment that I'm going to go through in this video. So you'll get to choose between 4 options of a synthetic material. The first, plastic bag. Second, you could choose a plastic bottle. You could do artificial sweeteners or synthetic rubber. Now, you've got those 4 options. You're only doing one of these. If you really had something else in mind, you want to research something else that's near and dear to your heart, then please reach out to your teacher, and I'm sure that you can do a different research assignment. However, these already have resources provided for you that are credible, reliable, and accurate. So if you choose not to do one of these 4, then you're really going on your own. So you'll have to find your own sources there. So these are the 4 that we recommend as a science department. Now, once you've picked your product, your synthetic product, you'll put it at the top of your assignment from Schoology. You'll include your resources, which are all from that file that I just listed. So you don't have to use all of them, right? If you chose the plastic bag, you don't have to use every single one of these links. So you choose the ones that make most sense to you. Some of them are videos, some of them are articles, and some of them are just texts, like from a textbook type material. So you really choose what you think is the best source for your purposes, but you do want to have at least 2. If you just watch a brain pop video, that's not really enough information for you to conduct a research project. That can be a starting point, and it can give you a lot of info, but it's not the only source that you're going to use to give a thorough answer. So in my example, I included 3 credible, reliable sources. I linked them directly onto my file. You'll do the same. So I did research about styrofoam, which actually, fun fact, that's not the correct term for the synthetic material. It's really known as expanded polystyrene foam, or EPF. So, fun fact for you there. Now, you are not going to be allowed to do research on styrofoam because all the answers are already in this file that is posted on Schoology and that I'm going to go through in this video. But it is very similar to some of those other materials. So, since this assignment is a much larger, really borderline project assignment, you are totally welcome to use the entire week to conduct your research and to fill in this file. So this like worksheet through Schoology. It's broken into 3 chunks, so you could break it into 3 separate days or break it up however you want to, but it's already broken into 3 smaller chunks so that you can distribute it across the whole week and not have to do the whole thing in one day, because that'll be way too much for you with your other schoolwork, okay? Remember, only 20 minutes for science every day. So step 1 is going to be all about research. That's where you're using those resources. You're going to open each of the links that you see on that file that was provided, and you're going to read through them, you'll watch the video, and you'll record the research and the information that you got from it. So there are very specific questions that we want you to think about for how it's made. Think about just how that synthetic product is made in general, and what natural resources are used to make it. So maybe fossil fuels, maybe water, air, land, and space, whatever the product is for your product, you want to think of the natural resources. And then what chemical processes are used to make it. You don't have to get too in-depth here with the actual chemistry of it, but do try to think about what type of chemical processes were done. Does it have to be melted down? Is it a chemical reaction to produce a brand new product? Those types of things should be in the resources that were provided. And then properties. So that was from the slides that you had for your start to the week, reviewing chemical and physical properties. So you need to find at least a few of each for your product, and then how that synthetic material has different properties that make it better or just different from the natural resources that were used to make it. So for me, styrofoam, or EPF, is made using fossil fuels, actually. So coal, petroleum, and natural gas are used to make this awesome styrofoam that we use in so many different industries. Now, of course, those properties are very, very different. So in here, that's where I included the difference in properties. So when this styrofoam compound, the styrene, is strung together in a synthetic way, it produces the chemical and physical properties of styrofoam, or EPF, which were listed in the boxes right above. Now, styrene is made from fossil fuels that are really deep below the Earth's surface, and of course have very different properties. They're not lightweight, they're not buoyant, they're not inexpensive or low melting point. So very different properties here. Okay, so I have done all my research. My step 1 is complete. I'm done for the day. If you want to keep going on the same day and really get it all done and over with in one sitting, fine. Or take a break and finish up the next day. So step 2, now you're thinking about it. You're applying the research to some more thoughtful questions here. So more of why type of questions. So why is this synthetic material useful? Like, why are we producing this styrofoam? And what about the structure and function makes that product useful to society? So what about those properties make it useful? And then the effects. How does the production of styrofoam impact society? Positive and negative. I mean, we're producing it at really high rates, so we must be enjoying the effects of this styrofoam, right? So we want to think about the effect on humans. We have great insulators for our hot coffee. We have food containers. We have buoyant buoys that we can use on boats. But some negative effects and other effects on our natural resources. If we're harvesting our fossil fuels and using them to make this new product, that has a significant effect because we know that fossil fuels are non-renewable. So that's the type of stuff that would go in this box. So now I'm done with step 2. Easy enough. And then step 3 is the real capstone here. This is where you want to put your opinion about the research that you've conducted. So is this synthetic material worth it? Is it worth the processes and the natural resources that we take and use to make it? So I personally said no for my research, but if you and a friend each both do research on the plastic bottle, one of you could say yes, it's worth it, and one could say no, and both of you are correct. This is your opinion based off the information provided. So I said no because styrofoam is not biodegradable, it produces air pollutants, and there are a ton of alternatives. So then in my second box, how can we replace the use of this synthetic material or reduce it? Well, we have tons of alternatives to a lot of those industries. Your coffee or your hot drink can go in a cardboard cup or another biodegradable product. And same with your to-go containers. There are a ton of alternatives out there. And so that was my little solution there to at least reduce, if not completely replace over time. So I'm done with all my research. I've filled in this and I am going to submit it onto Schoology so that my teacher can read it and give me feedback and a grade. When you're done with that, though, you are welcome to do a Flipgrid. It is totally optional, but highly recommended because it's fun to watch you guys make Flipgrids. But you can make a Flipgrid kind of like this video I'm making, where you really go through all the answers, give me some fun facts, tell me your opinion about this synthetic material, tell me all the answers to your research in a quick video. Now this is, again, totally optional, but I can give you feedback, and Flipgrid is awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this video, enjoy your research, and have a great, awesome week of research project. Woo, woo, woo!